All right. We are live, aren't we? Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Excuse me. Alrighty, traders. Welcome to today's live stream. In today's live stream, I'm going to teach you a really, really, really awesome, powerful technique to help you when it comes to understanding how to read the momentum in the markets. This is a short-term momentum. This is something that's I've been touching on for the last probably week on my live streams, but I've been talking about it, but I haven't been going into detail about it. So in today's session, what I want to talk about is exactly that. I'm going to teach you how to read the short-term momentum in the markets, and whether we're picking up or whether we're slowing down or any of that down home country goodness. So that's basically what I'm going to be talking about in today's market or in today's session. And the reason why is because I want to teach you how to actually read when the short-term or the long-term momentum or the short-term momentum is actually changing from a down leg to an up leg and so on and so forth in the markets. I'm going to teach you this. It's very, very, very powerful, powerful technique in today's session. So that's what I want to touch on today, guys. Let me firstly get straight into the typical disclaimer, and that is, guys, do not place a trade based on what you see in the session today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and it does take you a long time to become a good trader. So be smart about the way that you are trading these markets. Okay. Now let's actually get straight into it. Oh, by the way, guys, I've added an extension to the trading course. So if you I've added one more day to the actual trading course flash sale. So if you've missed out on that, today is the very last day. So go to johns.flashsale.com. That'll redivert you to the page, or link in the description there. And also, guys, I still have one spot left open for my coaching program this year. If you want to get me as your coach every single week and have me and learn my trading strategy, then the link in the description below. Go to that right now. Go fill out the application, and I'll speak to you on the phone and see if I can actually help you. And what the coaching program is all about: me teaching you my trading strategy, one simple trading strategy, and then every single week I'm there to help you to stick to this trading strategy. Because if you stick to it, you do well. Simple as that. Let's get straight into today's session here. And one thing I want to talk about in these markets here. So let's actually let me make sure I'm on the other screen here now. Let's actually get straight into it. So just say, hey guys, where you're from as you're logging in, and we'll definitely get started. So let's actually do this here right now. Let's actually get straight into today's session here. All right, now this is something that is so incredible, so powerful, that it's something that I don't really share a lot. Only when I get to know each other. Only when we get to know each other a bit more in the markets here. But I get to know each other a bit more in what's going on with I can't talk this morning. Anyway, let's actually get straight into this here. What this is this is an awesome momentum indicator to tell you whether we are starting to slow momentum, whether we got strong momentum, whether momentum in that direction is starting to slow, or either whether we're getting a shift in momentum. That's what we want to focus. That's what I'm focusing on in this session here today. Okay. And the reason why, and it's also up to do with obviously a market update and also how to read the markets properly, how to read the charts properly. So that's what I want to share with you today in this here. So let's actually get straight into it. What we're looking at here when it comes to long-term and short-term momentum. Now, this is not a black and white rule, but when you start to look at these different indicators in the markets, it tells you when momentum is likely to start shifting. So let me actually walk you through this here. The thing is that when we're looking at the markets here, what we want to do is in an up market, okay, in an up market we have a bar. This is called a nice green candle here. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. I'll do this here. All right, so let's just say this is a bar here. Okay, so this is a candle here. So that we have an up candle through here. Okay, and we have the, what do we have? We have the low of the candle and we have the high of the candle. It doesn't matter where, that doesn't matter the open and close. Let's not worry about that at the moment. And then suddenly what do we have? We have another up candle. So notice, and now what do we have? We have a lower low compared to the previous bar and a lower high compared to the previous bar. So that's a lower high. So as you can see, right, the lows are higher as the market steps up. So we have higher lows, and then we might get another bar that looks something like this. And then what do we get? We get another higher low in the markets. So as long as the buyers keep creating higher lows on the actual bars itself, that's showing that short-term momentum, that momentum in that market, in that move, whether it's up or down, is strong, right? Because the buyers continue to, think about this as when you're looking at the markets, when you're trying to read the markets, if you look at it as a whole, look at this higher low, okay? Higher low in the markets. That's when the buyers are in control. But when we're looking at these short-term legs, if we did the exact same thing, but on the bars, higher low, and higher low. So when we're doing that, and when you see that, that's when the market starts to it's showing strength. But when the market starts to shift is when we might get another bar like this here, and then suddenly we get a down bar. Now notice this here, right? Notice how we created a higher low here, but we created a lower low through here. This lower low is now our first indication that momentum in this move is now starting to slow. It's starting to slow down. Now, it doesn't mean it's totally reversing, because I like to see a close. I like to see this candle close below 2 candles prior. A close of the candle 2 candles prior. Okay, that's when I see that momentum shifting. Now, just because the momentum shift doesn't mean it's not going to either continue. It doesn't mean it's going to continue that direction, or it's going to totally reverse. And I'll share with you what I mean in this minute. So that's what we see on the upside, right? We have a low, higher low, and a higher low. But as the lows and the bars, once that's broken, that's a key indication that the buyers are not raising their prices anymore. They're not creating that high low anymore. This is a warning sign. And if we now get what's called a close, if we get a close, just say this is the close. If we get a close below 2 previous candles, if we get a low based on the 2 previous candles, a close, that's showing momentum shift. Now, and the same for the downside as well too. If we have a high, and then we have another lower high and a lower high, momentum strong on the downside. If we have this bar here, and we have look at this here, lower high, higher high, something's wrong. If we get a higher high and a close, and the close is above the last 2 bars, that's showing momentum shift in the markets. Okay, so let me explain what I mean here by looking at the actual chart we're looking at right now, and I'll show you what I mean here. So during this move through the upside, especially on the, I'll use the Dow Jones because the Dow Jones is a really, really good example, especially lately. Now, guys, once again, what I'm teaching you here is how to read the short-term momentum in the markets, whether the market has got strong momentum in that move, or whether we're starting to slow, or whether we're starting to change momentum. Okay, it's just a very, very, very powerful indicator. So let me go back through here, okay? Again, this is just something that's so, so powerful in the markets here, and it's something that I only really teach my private clients. So it's a bit of a special for you guys today. So let's have a look at this here, okay? So let's just keep that there. Let's just go back over through here. What do we have here? We have a high, we have a lower high. We have a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, an equal high, a lower high, a lower high. Oh, what's this here? This is a higher high. That means what? Possible. That's now showing that momentum slowing, right? Because it's now not creating lower highs. Next bar created what? A lower high, and then the next bar created a higher high. But look at this here. Where did this bar close? It closed where? It closed above the last two candles and created a higher high. That's where momentum shifted. That's where momentum shifted on the upside. So now we go to the lows. Now the momentum shifted to the upside. So let's do this here. So once momentum shifted to the upside, what are we looking for now? We're looking for the lows. So we had this as a low. Let's just do this black and a line. All right, so that's a low. And now that's a low, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, equal low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. So once again, as we can see, right, it was this candle here. Notice this candle here, not only did it create a higher high on the bar above two previous bars, but the close now was above those two previous bars. All right, this is more of a really, really, really advanced technique, but I'm trying to share with you. There's so much information you can get from the chart itself. It really, really, really can. So we have this low through here. What's this here? Is this a higher low or is this a lower low compared to the previous bar? It's a lower low. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, it's meaning that potentially it's slowing. Doesn't mean it's coming to an end. It's slowing. And then guess what happened here? Bam. We had a what? We had now another lower low. But where is the close? The close is here. And it's actually closing well below, isn't it? The last actually 3 candles here. Actually 4 candles. So that means what? Momentum has shifted back to the downside now. High, equal high, lower high, higher high. Remember, we need 2 higher highs with a higher close. And then we have a lower high. So momentum was slowing through here. It wasn't strong. See, in a strong downtrend, right, we have a lower high, meaning lower high compared to the previous bar, lower high compared to the previous bar, lower high compared to the previous bar. Using the highs, the wicks, basically. In an upward trend, high, low, higher, low. High, low compared to the previous bar, high, low compared to the previous bar, high, high, low compared to the previous bar. Oh, I love it. And so what do we have here now? Now we have a downtrend. Now we have this big gap down, lower high, and lower high. So now we have the momentum's picking up to the downside. Now what happens now? Now the momentum shifts, right? This is us just reading the momentum and going with the momentum. What is this here? This is a higher high. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, well, it's a higher high, but it's not a higher high with a higher close above the past 2 candles, right? So when I'm looking at my candles, I'm looking at these 2 right here. These last 2 candles here. And I'm saying, okay, we need a higher close. Then something what happened, see this one here? Not only did it give, this candle here actually gave a higher high compared to the last 2 bars, but it gave a higher close as well too. That's where momentum shifted. Now momentum shifted back to the upside. Now again, guys, this is how you read short-term momentum as the market's starting to flow. Now, depending on what phase we're in, meaning the market can go through a time phase where the market just goes sideways. If the market goes through a time phase where the market's just going sideways, rebuilding energy, so to speak, you're going to get a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down like this, okay? So if you're trying to read the momentum when you're in that time phase, it's going to be very, very, very choppy. Like it is right here, right? So then what do we have? We have a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And this one here was a what? A lower low. But this candle here was a lower low, breaking below the last 2 lows of the bars, the last 2 lows of the previous bars. So then what happened? Then now momentum shifted back to the downside. So as you can see, right, momentum down, momentum shifted back to the upside here. It shifted back to the downside here, shifted back to the upside here, shifted back to the downside here. So let's continue on here with the recent move, and let me show you what I see here. So we have this recent move, okay? Look at this here. So then we had a what? We had a lower high compared to the previous bar. Then we had a what? What was this? This is a higher high. Now remember, a higher high compared to the previous bar simply means that momentum is possibly slowing. It hasn't come to an end because remember, we need a close above the two previous bars. What's this here? This is a lower high, a higher high. Once again, what does this mean? It just means momentum slowing on the downside. So we are on the downside, but momentum slowing, isn't it? It's not strong, but it's slowing. What is this one here? This is a higher high, isn't it? Higher high compared to the previous bar. What does that mean? And momentum slowing. What do we need for a change in trend? We actually need a bar to actually close above the previous two bars. Again, this is really, really, really advanced technique that, again, I don't normally share with people until we get to know each other a bit more, but you really have to understand the markets as well too. But now we have our what? This is our lower high. Has momentum shifted back to the upside here? No, it hasn't, right? We've just slow. We haven't actually had a confirmation shift. Then we had our what? A lower high, lower high, lower high, a higher high. Has momentum shifted yet? No. Slowing possibly, but hasn't shifted. Lower high, and another lower high. So as you can see, right, the momentum was slowing all through here, but it didn't shift. Then we actually drop back down through here. Now this is not about picking tops and bottoms, by the way, guys. You can never pick tops and bottoms. You can just go with what the market's telling you. Then we had what? Then we had this big 1,000-point up down the Dow. And then we had this close here as well too. Now this close here is what? This is a close. This is two closes above the previous bar's high. What does that mean? Momentum shifted. Okay. Shifted down, higher low, higher low. This one here is a lower low now. What does that mean? A lower low compared to the previous bar. What does that mean? It just means momentum's possibly shifting. This one here, this candle here, what? This gave a lower low and a close below the two previous candles. Okay, two previous candles here. So guys, I'm not talking about using I'm not talking about using the candles to trade with. I'm talking about you could use a bar if you want to. It's just about using the high, low, and the close to gauge momentum. All right, so that's what we're using here. Again, we're not using this as an entry signal. We're just using this as how to read the markets properly. Now, ever since that, look what happened here. This is now what? This is a higher low, and the close of this candle was actually above this candle here and this candle here, the two previous candles, which means momentum is shifting back to the upside. Now, what do we have? Higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low. Momentum shifted? No. Higher low, equal low, higher low, higher low, equal low, higher low, lower low. Has momentum shifted? No. It's slowing. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Has momentum shifted? No. Or sorry, this is a lower low. Has momentum shifted? No. Have we gotten a close below the two previous candles? No. Equal low, and higher low. So as you can see, right, that's the reason why if you've been watching my live streams for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying that I wouldn't want to be trying to short this market now because you don't know when the momentum is going to end. And as you can see, ever since this candle here, we've had a few slowing periods, but not a reversal period. And that's where if we get a nice close below these two candles, we have a gap here. And that's why I say as confirmation, if we get a close below these candles here, right, we get a nice close below this candle, 1, 2, 3, that's going to show possible momentum reversal, right? And then a confirmation for me would be below these two candles here to see the momentum shift in the market on that short term. Remember, okay, short term. This is not using this as an entry signal, okay? Please don't use this as an entry signal. You're just trying to say, okay, where is momentum on this leg, okay? Because as you know, this is talking about looking at the legs, okay? So, but remember, in a bearish market, we always got to be looking at the bigger picture too. Who's in control? Lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, cool. So sellers are still lowering their prices overall. And then as we're reading these legs through here, we're trying to gauge where is the momentum at that time within these legs. Guys, give me a yes in the chat box if you think this is pretty awesome. Like this is something like most people don't know this stuff. Like this is the stuff that I teach to my private clients. It's like you really need This is the stuff that really matters to you with your trading, guys. It really does. It's utilizing this and utilizing what the market is telling you, not an indicator. That's where the most powerful information comes from. It's the chart itself. Okay, and from that you can start to see, you can start to get a good gauge of where everything is. That's why I'm saying right now, yes, I do believe the market's going to continue down, but I can't. But right now, guys, remember I said before, right? The market's going to, if the overall market's making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Okay, and we're looking at the overall market, but on these short-term legs, we're trying to see where is momentum. Has it actually shifted, or are we slowing, or are we actually moving? What's actually going on here? So that's where I've been saying, guys, this entire up leg has not shifted to the downside yet. What will I need for a momentum shift to the downside? I would need something like this here, a close below the 2 previous candles. So for me, the close below actually would be this here, right? Because if we got to close below these two previous candles here, that would be the very first time ever since we had this momentum shift on this green candle here, right here. That'd be the very first time that we've got a close below the 2 previous candles. The 2 previous candles. That simply means, now guys, it has nothing to do with the candlestick. It has just everything to do with the high, low. You could use a bar if you wanted to, you know, an open, high, and closed bar. You don't really need to worry about the open. It's just the close really matters on the bars as well too. And depending on the size of the bar and so on and so forth. Makes sense? So that's where I'm saying, if you watch this, if you watch what we're looking at here, guys, okay, if you watch what the market is doing here, the market, the market is definitely, once again, the market is definitely not showing a reversal right now. Okay, this momentum may continue to the upside. It's very slow on the upside. Now we can get into all other areas about, you know, like there's so much you can get from the chart, guys. There really is. Okay, but there's one technique here. There's one technique. Now it doesn't mean, just because we get a momentum shift on the downside doesn't mean we're gonna continue down. Okay, we may just get something just looks like this here, but like meaning we got a little momentum shift on the downside, but it can, the very next candle completely shifted back to the upside. Now, how could you use this in your trading? All right, how could you use this in your trading? Say, for example, you are actually looking to go short. Okay, let's just say, for example, this candle right here. Okay, let's just say, for example, this candle right here, you were looking to go short. Okay, and you actually did, right? You went short on this candle here because you thought the market was going to continue down and we're going to continue this downward leg through here. So you went short here on this candle. How could you use this in your trading? Well, if you know about momentum, right? Momentum is everything in the markets. So how could you use this in your trading? If you saw that and the very next candle did that, well, you know that you should be out of the markets, because now momentum, the market's telling you, yeah, it did look like the momentum was going to shift on the downside a little bit, but it hasn't actually happened, and now we need to be out. And so now again, guys, this is not 100% true, and I mean, it's not 100% foolproof. What I mean by this, meaning it's like the market's going to give you some random things, right? Especially when the market's going sideways, as I said before. When the market's going sideways like this, you can get, it's going to be very, very difficult. So you want to be able to, especially in trending markets like we are getting right now, it's very, very, very awesome to read this, because you can start to see some good major shifts in the markets to see where is that short-term momentum in the markets. So if I look at, say, something like the NASDAQ, I was actually telling my private clients back here on the NASDAQ, let me actually share this here. Back here when the market actually was going down, when the market started coming down through here, and we had this lower close through here. So we had this lower close right through here. I said to my private clients, this is where momentum has shifted now. We've shifted back to the downside. Momentum is still down, momentum still down, momentum still down, momentum still down, right? Because we didn't get a close above 2 previous highs. We got a higher high, but not too close. Momentum still down, but slowing. Still down, 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 still down. Changed right there. So as we're going through this period through here, I was saying to my private clients, yes, we may be getting some sort of a double bottom formation here or whatever, but momentum hasn't started shifting yet. We haven't actually got that shift in momentum yet. And then the market went down. You know, same with the NASDAQ, right? As soon as the market, this green candle here was when the market shifted back to the upside. Higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low, not a close below two previous lows. Higher low, lower low, not a close below two previous lows. Higher low, right? So this period here was what? This was a period of slowing, but not a change. Higher low, lower low, higher low, lower low, lower low, but not a close below two previous lows. Higher low, lower low, equal close. So it it wasn't really a close below. Higher low, and a higher low. So we haven't got a definite close below. So that's where I say, and as you can see, right, then we went through another period of slowing. So you can see, even though the momentum has been to the upside on this move, we've had, it's been what we call a weak upward movement because it's been very slowing. A strong upward movement is when you get a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and this is bam, 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 clear higher lows compared to the previous bar. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. It's showing. Now, it doesn't mean, because sometimes you may get the market going high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, and then it goes through a bit of a resting period, and it looks like it's going to do that, and it looks like it's going to start to slow momentum and then pick back up again like that. That's the reason why you want to use this in conjunction of trend analysis. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you today, guys. I really wanted to help you guys out when it comes to understanding the reason why I've said momentum hasn't changed yet. We haven't got to change momentum, so don't try and fight it. And for me personally, that momentum shift is still below that $7,000 level because you've got a couple of candles here, but it really is, we get a close below that 7,000 level. That's going to be the sign. We're probably going to start to see a lot more downside to come because what? Because we're still getting these lower highs in the market. So we're still getting that. So if we did get a close below, we'd be going with the trend and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you today, guys. You know, and again, this is really an advanced style of technique, but this is only, I really only share this sort of stuff with my private clients, but I really wanted to help you out today in today's session. If you'd like to become one of my private clients, I do have one spot left open where I teach you my trading strategy. And every week I do live coaching sessions to teach things like this every single week with my private clients. And I also do coaching calls every single week to help you identify really good high probability setups, so on and so forth. That's for the rest of this year. Then click on that link in the description below, go fill out the application form, and I'll be able to help you out there. Let me answer some questions here now, guys, and we'll go from there. Daniel, thank you for taking the time on the weekend, John, and providing this value. No problem. Does the color of the bar matter when the market makes a lower low during an upward trend? The answer is no, Daniel. But the thing is that as I walk through there, right, if we're in an upward trend, and like for example this candle here, if the market's going if the market's in a short-term momentum move. Again, guys, don't use this as a trading signal, okay? Because you need to wrap it. You need to have a lot more than just this here. This is how just to read the short-term momentum, okay? It's not a trading setup. This is not a trading system. This is you getting better at reading what's going on in the market right now, okay? If we get a lower close here, it's going to be a red candle, okay? And same for the downside. If the market's going down, and we get this sort of close here, it's going to be a green. It's going to be a green candle because we're getting a close above the two previous candles. If I only take profit between the trading signal candles, there would rarely be enough to cover the spread and trade fees. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, because if you just use this as an entry signal, I'm not saying you should do this and don't do this, right? You need a lot more. But if you just use this as an entry signal, let's actually see this here. So your entry would be here. Okay. Your entry would be here. Slowing. Your exit would be here. So that would be a profit from there to there. Or you could use a bit more of a scaling technique. Then you'd go short here. Oh, got out there. That's now this now was a loss. Now you go long, and you'd still be in the market right now. So not sure what you mean by that, but that's your profit there, and this is your profit here so far. Now, again, guys, this doesn't happen all the time, okay? Because if we start to go through, that's what I'm saying, don't trade this based on what I'm saying here, because if we go through a sideways market, you're going to get chopped up. Oh, momentum up. Oh, momentum down. Oh, momentum up. That's what happens with the markets. So you got to understand what phase we're in. Are we in a time phase where the market's just rebuilding? If so, you're going to get very choppy action. You're going to get what? You're probably going to get something like this on the Dow. See all this choppy action through here? Let's actually do this here. All right. Oh, that's there. All right. So if you see all this choppy action when the market's going sideways, that's time. And then as the market starts breaking out, that's now price. Meaning we're refueling and we're releasing fuel. Yes. Flight nurse. This is gold. Just bought TEUM. Nervous. Okay, Mary. Well, if you did buy it and you're nervous, you shouldn't be in the markets, because now you're hoping and praying and all that sort of stuff. Wrong way to go, my darling. You shouldn't be nervous. Like I'm never nervous on any signal. If I'm nervous about getting into the trade, if there's some doubt there, I'm not going to take the trade. I only take the trades I'm like, yes, this is it, because that gives me the confidence to put a bit more risk on to really take it. It's not an ego yes, but it's like, wow, this looks good from my setup. Yes, this is gold, and I'm glad I stumbled upon your channel. I always rewatch all your cast after work. Fantastic. But what about volume? I look at volume of the day along with the candles. Volume can be a good thing there. Flight Nurse MD. Once again, this is one technique. Okay, guys, what I'm teaching you here is one technique on how to read what's really going on in the markets. Not an indicator, not a moving average, nothing. What is the market telling us? This is one indicator that I use to teach me what's happening with momentum. Okay, this is not using this as an entry signal. Okay, please. I'm telling you right now, if you use this as an entry signal, you're gonna get chewed up. This is just trying to teach you how to read what's happening with markets. Now you still need to wrap that along with support and resistance lines, the major highs and lows to see who's in control overall, looking at that higher time frame trend. So this is all about reading the chart itself. So I hope you can understand that. Is that how you set your stops below the previous two candles closing? Sometimes, Mary. Most of the time I just use a short-term moving average personally, like a 9 moving average. I'll give you an example of a trade that happened recently. This one right here. So this was a trade that I did, and as you can see, my entry signal was, or this. Let me do this here. All right. So my entry signal was this candle here was my entry signal. Look at this here. High or low. Oh, wrong one. A green. You can't see that, can you? Higher low, higher low, higher. This is a 2-minute chart, by the way. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and a close below 2 candles. As you can see, as is closed below 2 candles, that would have been my exit there. Or actually, I think I brought my stop up just above here somewhere, just below these 2 candles here. And then I got stopped out there. But that was the trade from there to there. Now, that doesn't look like much, but as I said, if you guys have been following me, my stop is at the low here. So just say, for example, if I had $10,000 risk on this trade, meaning I'm happy risking $10,000 on this candle here, That's there. So then that there to that there was roughly, that there. So then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, roughly 4, even if you call it 4 times. So if I was risking $10,000 on this trade, or even $10,000, this here would have given me around about a $40,000 profit, roughly, right? Because it was roughly 4 times my risk, roughly that, between 3 and 4 times my risk. That would have collected there. If it was a $5,000 risk, meaning I'm risking $5,000 and I'm happy, I'm accepting that risk up front, then this would have been roughly a $20,000 profit for me. Roughly anyway, not exactly. So we had that there. That was, so from there to there was really my risk. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah, so 5 times. So it could be a $25,000 profit in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 10 minutes. So I don't trade a lot, guys. I don't trade a lot, but I trade very, very, very high probability trading setups. And I'm happy risking, a good amount of money on these trades because I know most of them do work out. And as you can see, I don't need a lot of good trades throughout the month for me to do really well from trading, even with a $5,000 risk, which I have a lot. I have a lot more. Yeah, anyway, so I'm just trying to teach you there. So, and then imagine if you been growing your account, now you're starting to be happy risking $20,000 a trade, $30,000 risk on a per trade. Now you're talking crazy numbers just on one really good trade per month. So that's how the really good traders make really good money, guys. So just giving you an example of there. I hope that I'm giving you a bit of a mental shift as well too about how you're thinking about your trading here. You're trying to trade a lot to make a lot of money. It's only because you've got a small trading account, and then you're trying to trade a lot to actually grow that account. It's actually the opposite. The less you trade, the faster you're going to grow that account. Less is more. And that's a lot of that is actually to do with your life in general, right? Like you work hard, but you got to allow things to happen. You try to force it's like bam over the head. Thank you. Thanks. Have a great day. No problem. What is the difference time frame candidates each other contracting each other? Which one is preferred? Well, whatever chart you are looking, the thing is firstly, what's your trading setup you're looking for? What is your setup you're looking for? So, and that's the very first question I ask, okay? And let me actually do this here. So the very first question I ask myself, number one question is, what is the setup I'm looking for? That's my first question. Now, I'm going to look across all the markets and all the time frames to see when I'm getting the perfect setup that I'm looking for. I'm talking about an A+ setup, something that generates a profit almost every single time. Not a lot of them, but almost every single time. And I have 100% confidence in these things. Okay, cool. So that's my very first question. Then secondly, whatever my entry signal on, just say for example, my entry signal was on a 5-minute chart as an example. Well, I'm going to make sure I go to the 15-minute chart to make sure I'm not trading against that trend. Because if I have a nice bullish entry on my 5-minute chart, but I see we have a very strong downtrend on that 15-minute chart, I'm trading against that higher time frame trend, and it's probably going to fail on me, even with a really good setup. I hope you can understand that. That's the reason why I say, guys, that that you need the trading setup, but you need to wrap it around with like I'm looking for high quality signals only. And I hope you can see, guys, just one really good trading setup. He had $20,000 risk on that thing, one really good trading setup per month. Now, that requires you to sit in front of the screen for, sometimes 8, 9 hours a day sometimes to watch these markets. But I'm always looking at the high time frame. If I get a signal on the daily chart, I'm looking at the weekly chart for that trend. So, firstly, it's like, what is the setup I'm looking for? And then that's the way it's all about having a system and a process. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want to be trading against the trend. We have a short-term trend and a short-term, we have a signal on this small time frame chart, but what is that longer-term time frame chart saying? Do you use leverage on that 2-minute code? I'm not gonna really get into that. Forex market is leverage, by the way. And secondly, it has nothing to do with, yeah, of course I use leverage. It's the Forex market. But it has a lot. It's not the market that gets you. It's not the market you have to worry about. It's not the stock market. It's not the Forex market. It's none of these markets. I have my system and I trade every single market out there. That's it. I hope you can see that, guys. Okay, so it's not a matter of, well, the stock market didn't work for me, so let me go try the Forex market. They're all the same thing, guys. They really are. And I'm just looking for my trading setup. That's a good question. 15-minute. Is it possible to use, or does, well, you can use whatever you want to use. Really, it's up to you. The thing that I'm teaching you today is something, well, I don't think you can use Renko or any of those charts. Just keep it simple. If I teach you a trading technique that is really, really powerful, really technique and awesome, then, and I'm showing you that it's on a candlestick chart, why would you want to go? It's like, okay, this works really, really, really well on this car, but does it work on this? Like, why would you even ask that? Okay, this is the candlestick chart. This is how we apply it. Okay, I'm going to do that. Well, does it work on any other charts? Why would you want to even stop complicating it, guys? Would it be safe to leverage to use a smaller trading account? It's all about your risk that you're comfortable with at that time. Beak Zod. It's all about the risk that you're comfortable with, because you need to accept the risk up front on those trades. So, and that comfortability comes from your confidence in your trading system and your confidence to be consistent, disciplined, and patient across all with your trading system, and that's how you get ahead. It has nothing to do with how much risk am I trade, so on and so forth. Because I know, like what my very first 7-figure mentor, he used to risk 20% of his trading account on every single trade, but he hardly had a loss. And if he had a loss, it was like 5% of his account, maybe 10% sometimes, maybe 5%. But majority of the time, he made a profit. So the risk is relevant to your confidence. Now, confidence comes from you doing the right thing, you taking the same setup again and again and again. So good for day trading or swing trading as well. No, don't use what I just taught you today as an entry signal, because as I've said today, that it's not an entry signal. It's just trying to, it's a momentum indicator. It's trying to tell you where momentum is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's about teaching you. This is about teaching you how to read the market and read what's going on right now, so you're not confused. Because the better you can read the chart, the better trader you'll be. Can you tell us a good setup for a long trade? Mary? No, that's for my private clients only. They pay a lot of money for that system. So I'm not going to walk you through the exact details of that. So because if you, to become a good trader, Mary, there's so much that goes into becoming a good trader. It's not just, we'll teach me one good setup and so on and so forth. Do the shapes of the bars matter that much? For instance, a closed bar with a lower shadow. No. Remember, guys, this is not set in stone, by the way. Okay, what I mean by that is, like, momentum can shift up, like for example here, right? This point right here. Momentum shifted to the downside and up to upside. So just because we get a momentum shift in either direction doesn't mean it's not going to change. It's us just flowing with what the market is telling us. Okay. So, and all we're looking for, guys, if the market's been going down, lower high, we're looking for an up candle that's closing above the 2 previous candles. If the market's been going down, we're looking for an up candle to close above 2 previous candles. If the market's been going up, I'm looking for a down candle to close below the 2 previous candles. And that means momentum shifting. But just because momentum shifting doesn't mean we're going to go down. All right. It just means that move now is slowing. John, when you say you have a system, for example, mine could be ascending triangles, and then I look everywhere for this setup. It could be that, Tim. It could be that, but that's too generic, right? Now, that's too generic. Really, really is too generic. I don't think it's more about reading what the market is telling you. It's very, very hard to. Now, I have my trading setup that I absolutely totally believe in, and it's the best trading system on the planet. It's the most highest probability trading system on the planet. You don't get a lot of trades, but it's very, very high probability. That's why I like the trade. So just using an ascending triangle pattern is not really, really, really good because it's very, very generic. And, and you could use that if you want to. The question is, it all comes back down to this, guys. 1, what is your trading setup? 2, do you actually believe in it? Not like, well, I read this research and it said that it works, so I'm going to follow it. No, don't do that, guys. don't do that. That's gonna knock you off so bad, right? How you get confidence in something. That's why I say with my private clients, like for example, I have one spot left open for my private clients. Once you join, if you're accepted, if you're accepted into my coaching program, I say for the very first couple of months, it's going to be slow for you because you're building up your confidence within the system. But the thing is, it's about you having a setup that you believe in, and that's all you take. That's all you take. Now, a setup is got a trading setup. Okay, so a trading setup has to do with, there's a few things that goes into a trading system. There are 2 things. First thing, you have a trading setup. All right, so I'll give you a basic of what my trading setup is. Okay, I'm going to give you the 20% of it basically. So let me do this here. So my base, I'll teach you this here. Okay, so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a period where the market's quiet and we're going sideways for a while. Okay, now this is only just a short period of my trading system. Okay, but I'm giving you a little bit of a foundation. I'm looking for the market to go quiet for a while, and we've got small candles. Okay, so as you can see here, what do we have here? We have sideways for a while with small candles, and then I'm looking for a big breakout candle. Now that's my entry signal. Now I still need to make sure that I'm trading with the trend, make sure that there's been enough sideways movement, make sure that the bar's not too big. So all these other factors go into my trading system as well. But as a basic level, I'm looking for sideways movement, small candles, and then I'm looking for a breakout candle. But once again, not every single one of these small candle breakout candles is exactly what I'm looking for, because I need to make sure, once again, that I'm trading with the trend. I make sure that there's been enough sideways movement, that the entry bar is not too big. All these things go into it. But as you can see, right, sideways, small candles, and a breakout candle, and away it goes. Now, this one had enough sideways movement, and it's, again, guys, do not place a trade based on what I'm saying here, because a lot of these trades here you'll see are not exactly ideal trades. Let me show you another trade. So that was USD. Look at this one here. What is this one here? This is the NASDAQ 2-minute chart. Just last week. What do we have here? We have a period of sideways movement with small candles and then a breakout candle. Simple. Now, once I see that pattern, I'm saying, okay, 1, are we trading with the trend? 2, do we have enough sideways movement? 3, is the entry bar too big? Is the entry bar good? Or is it too big? 4, I'm looking at support and resistance on the other time frame, major support and resistance on the higher time frame, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And 5, I'm looking at momentum, which is the shape of the moving average. So there's a step-by-step trading system that I give my private clients. But as you can see, right, it's the exact same thing every single time. Sideways, small movement, and a large bar. But as I said before, guys, not every single one of these is an ideal setup. It really isn't. Probably only about 20% of these trades are ideal setups, really are. But I'm trying to give you an example of, guys, I know exactly what I'm looking for on the charts. There is no ifs or buts about it. So Tim, I just walked you through that. That's what I mean by a trading setup, Tim, there. But as you can see, right, that the thing is that As I walk through, that's what I mean by a trading setup. It's based on the chart itself, and then you have rules that you follow to make sure you're getting into. You need rules to follow to make sure you're getting in at the right time. So as I said before, guys, I just gave you literally 20% on my trading system. I'm not going to give you the whole lot because I'm not disrespecting to my private clients, but I gave you literally 20%. Then you've got to wrap it around with all these other rules to make sure it's a high quality setup. Because again, a lot of the times you'll get those small bars, large bar, and it'll fail. And it's because where it is in the market and so on and so forth. Deep grab to grafting, maybe. You got to believe in your style, all that confidence. Exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, Mike, I just saw your thing there. Thanks, man. Do you enter the? Do you market enter or buy stop on that system? Tim, do not place a trade based on what I just showed you just then, because that is not the whole system. You need to. If you're serious, you need to be serious. Okay, I didn't just teach you a trading system. I gave you the basics of it. All right. There's so much more that goes into that trading system that I just showed you there, and I mean that. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not enough. You've got to really take your time and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Now, for me personally, I just get in. Once I see the market entry, I just get in at the time that I need to get into. I mean, I just get in at the market. As soon as the candle closes, I'm like, boom, I'm straight in the market. And so on and so forth. So again, guys, please do not go out there and start to trade this system, because there's so many trades that you're going to get the small bars, large bar, and that's going to be a fake out, and you're going to get stopped out. It's like, oh, this system doesn't work. No, it does work. You just don't know what to look for. You've got to have your rules in place. There's rules in place to make sure that you're getting in on a real high probability setup. That's going to give you a 90+% success rate. I've been firm with you guys, because some people say, I'll start trading that now. No, don't. It's not a get rich quick scheme. That's why I have with my private clients, I have an entire year with them. Every single week I'm coaching them to make sure that they're sticking to the system. How much do you have to pay yourself to get this set up? I don't know what that means, Tim. I'd have to pay myself anything for this setup. I just wait for the setup. I'm not sure. How would the entry candle be too big? Well, it really is too big. How much would you have to pay me? Well, fill out the application form and I'll speak to you on the phone about the fees and stuff like that. But it's not cheap. How would the entry candle be too big? Well, a lot of the times, Mary, the entry candle is too big, and it's just not a good time to get in. It's not a high probability time to get into it. I'm not going to walk you through exactly how we walk through that. I'm not going to walk you through exactly how we walk through that. And there's a way that we qualify. But that'll take me probably half an hour in itself just to walk you through. But again, I'm not going to, guys, out of respect for me, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with my private coach, who makes a lot of money, who's helped me with this sort of stuff. And my private clients pay me a lot of money as well too. So I'm not going to walk you through the entire system. I'm not going to do that out of respect for people who are my private clients. And also, it's taken me 15 years to get to the point where I am right now, guys. So, if you want to do this and you really want to get that 15-year shortcut and start to get ahead, well, then yeah, you basically got to join my coaching program, because that's where I really spend my time with. Which, as I said before, I have one spot left open for the entire year. So it's only a small group anyway. Anyway, guys, well, that's it for me today. I hope that this session has helped you out. Trading the stock market is not a get rich quick scheme, guys. If you're trying to look for something that is a quick, big, quick fuck. What did I just say? So I hope you can understand that. Tim said, so your flash sale doesn't include this setup. The only place to get it is your coaching program. Exactly right, Tim. Yes, exactly right. Now, in the coaching program, I give you 2 basic setups to get you going in the market. Yeah. So I give you 2 trading setups in that trading system to at least get you going in the markets there. But to get my #1 trading system, yeah, I've spent so much money, guys. You don't realize how much money and time and effort I've spent and I know that means nothing to you, but again, I'm not going. I value it so much, and I value what my private coach does for me right now. That I'm not going to just just do that. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I hope today's session has really helped you out, understanding momentum in the markets. Again, guys, this is about helping you become a much better trader in the markets. Okay, the better you can read the chart, the better trader you'll be. Have an amazing day, guys, and I'll speak to you next time.